If you have ever looked directly into a cat's eyes in bright sunlight, you have seen something that should be unsettling but somehow isn't. The pupil, which was round and wide in the dark, has collapsed into a thin vertical slit, so narrow it barely seems to belong in an eye at all. Then you look at a goat, and the pupil is doing something completely different. A wide, horizontal rectangle sitting sideways across the iris like a letterbox slot, giving the goat a stare that most people describe as deeply, inexplicably wrong. And then you look at a human, or an owl, or a dog, and the pupil is just a circle. Familiar, normal, unremarkable. Three completely different shapes, three completely different animals, and behind each one, a specific biological reason so precise that researchers can often determine an animal's place in the food chain, its preferred hunting time, and whether it is a predator or prey just by looking at the shape of its pupil. Not its teeth, not its claws, its pupil. Let's start with the eye that probably looks the strangest to us, the vertical slit, because hidden inside that shape is one of evolution's most specialized hunting tools. A vertical pupil, the kind found in cats, in vipers, in certain geckos and crocodiles, is built for one specific purpose: maximum control over how much light enters the eye across a dramatic range of conditions. In bright light, a vertical slit can block out almost all incoming light while still allowing the animal to see. In darkness, it can expand to an enormous size, flooding the retina with whatever light is available. A domestic cat's pupil can change its area by a factor of roughly 135 to 1. For your kind information, a human's round pupil changes by a factor of around 15 to 1. The vertical slit is simply a better mechanical design for both blazing midday sun and near total darkness. But vertical pupils aren't just about controlling light. In 2015, researchers at the University of California, Berkeley analyzed 214 land animal species and found they appear almost exclusively in ambush predators, while pursuit hunters usually have round pupils. The reason is depth perception, exactly the kind of precision you need when calculating the moment to strike at something a few centimeters away. This is also why cats have vertical pupils, but cheetahs, which hunt by high-speed pursuit over open ground rather than ambush, have round pupils instead. Same family, completely different hunting strategy, completely different pupil shape. Now turn over horizontal pupils, which are the opposite engineering solution to a completely different problem. Goats, sheep, horses, deer, almost every large grazing prey animal on the planet has horizontal pupils, and the reason is one of the most elegant designs in animal biology. A horizontal pupil, when the eye is oriented correctly, creates an extremely wide panoramic field of view along the ground plane, the exact plane where predators approach about 320 degrees around them, compared to a human's roughly 180 degrees. But here's the part that most people don't know. When a goat or sheep lowers its head to graze, its eyes rotate to keep the horizontal pupil level. So even while eating, it can still see almost everything around it. The animal can graze and scan for predators simultaneously. Let's move to round pupils. These are the most common shape and in some ways the hardest to explain simply, because they appear in animals as different as humans, owls, dogs, eagles, and elephants. What they share is not a hunting method or a prey-predator relationship, but something more fundamental. They are generalists. A round pupil is a compromise design. It does not close as tightly as a vertical slit or open as wide relative to eye size as some extreme adaptations, but it performs well across a wide range of light conditions. Owls are the interesting exception that tests this rule. They are highly specialized nocturnal predators, which you might expect to produce a vertical pupil like a cat. Instead, owls have huge round pupils. Rather than relying on pupil shape, they have evolved eyes so enormous relative to their skull that capture enough light even in near darkness. Their eyes are so large and so fixed in their sockets that owls cannot move them, which is why they rotate their entire head instead. The round pupil works for them not because it is the most efficient design for a nocturnal hunter, but because their eye size makes the shape almost irrelevant. And then there are humans who have round pupils and are neither prey animals nor specialized ambush predators, and whose pupil shape tells you something interesting about evolutionary history. Our closest primate relatives also have round pupils, The leading explanation is that primates evolved primarily as daytime animals in complex, three-dimensional environments like forest canopies, where the ability to judge distances in all directions mattered more than the extreme light control of a vertical slit, or the panoramic ground-level scanning of a horizontal one. So the next time you look into an animal's eyes, you are not just looking at a color or a reflection. You are looking at a specific solution to a specific survival problem, locked into place over millions of years of pressure, from predators, from prey, from darkness, from open ground. Three different shapes, three different survival strategies written directly into the structure of the eye.